So, Robert O'Dean, who do we have with us today?
It gives me great honor to introduce to you a phenomenal mentor, a phenomenal coach, a phenomenal teacher. He is no stranger to San Diego and the nation. So many people will get on his Instagram and watch his post because he supports great things. This gentleman has a foundation, the Charles James Education Foundation, and we're going to talk about that today, where he's planting seeds financially, giving back to young men and young women who may need support in college. None
Amen.
other than the Coach Charles James. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show, early morning Wake Up Morning Show.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Man, I just want to first start off by saying that I want to kudos to you and your beautiful family.
Yes.
The one thing that when I first met Cece, the one thing that just impressed me about her is how poised she was, how well mannered she was, and how everywhere she goes, you can see her upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see how God has blessed her thus far. Now I'm gonna be honest. Before Earl Dean started coming in, I only watched the relays
Mm.
and I would watch the hurdles, but only in the Olympics. Now, since Cece done hit the stage on the show, I'm watching that. Earl got me to come out to a track meet.
You came to the Meb
Yeah,
Keflezighi Invitational.
I'm gonna help sponsor it next year.
Yes.
I'm all in. I done reactivated my Aztec card and everything because they got CC coming to the
Yes.
Mesa.
Yes.
So y'all done breathe life into the old man.
Good deal. Good deal. I'm happy. And I'll tell you this myself. I was on relays and a long jumper, and her mother as well. She was on relays, and she was a 4 and 2, and we never did hurdles either. And I wasn't a big fan until she started doing it. But I told her she was a pole vaulter. I'd have been there, the biggest cheered on pole.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
so I want to, you all have a history of being in athletics and being super athletes. Can you just give everybody a background of your career and your wife's career?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you saw that Cece, Charlize James, let's just say that, had the anointing on her.
Okay. My background, I started playing sports in man, you're gonna tell me I'm tell my age, sis.
That's all right. You still look young.
I started playing for Balboa Pop Warner in 1986. My mom and my dad, they wanted to get me into some sports, and at that time in San Diego, there was a lot of things for young kids to get in the wrong things, as far as
Mm-hmm.
gang violence and things of that nature. And they didn't want that life for me. So, they started putting me in a lot of youth programs. So I started with Balboa Raiders in '86 was my first sports that I ever joined. From there, I played all the way up to high school. And then I joined San Diego High School in football. So I played varsity in football in the ninth grade. I went to Roosevelt Junior High at that time. So San Diego High didn't have a ninth grade. They started in the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So I played for San Diego High in the ninth grade at Roosevelt Junior High School. I went to a track meet, and I never ran track before. And you know, people would tell me to run track and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, I don't want to run track. And it's just running all day running. I hate running at football practice.
Right.
So
Right.
I go to my first track meet, and I see my wife running. I said, okay, sign me up. I need to do this. So she ran from Morris High School, and I used to live over there, but I had went to Roosevelt. I moved back to 65th Street, and I transferred to Morris High School. My wife, she used to run for the Blasters in youth, and
Mm-hmm.
then she ran for Morris High School. So after we graduated, she went to Tulane University and ran for Tulane University. I went to UNLV and played football for UNLV, and then came back. We both came back after college and started, you know, volunteering and giving back to our communities and trying to teach the kids a lot of stuff that we learned at the next levels.
Now, you said, did you guys become girlfriend and boyfriend in high school, college? Well, how did y'all hook up? Because you said you saw your wife, but you didn't say how when the connection took place.
No, you know what? My wife talks about this all the time. My family always talks about it as well. My wife didn't like me in high school. She didn't like she didn't like me. I was skinny little dude with big old ears,
Yep.
and I wasn't so fast. I wasn't I wasn't the guy that, she wasn't mean or nothing like that. She wasn't interested. So, and then the funny thing was we had the same group of friends. So we would go to bowling events and things like that. So she was always around me. And we went out to I, after we came back from college, we went out, and I mean our friends are literally the same friends.
Yep.
And so she said she seen me at the beach one day, and I just walked past her thinking I was just the man at the time. And she said, "You not gonna talk to me?" I said, "You don't ever talk to me." So that's where it started. And she gave me her number, and we went out to SeaWorld. I think was our first date. And we went to SeaWorld, and our first date, she gets on me about it, but it was her idea. The first place we went to go eat was Del Taco. And
Oh God, not Taco Bell,
Del
Del
Taco,
Taco.
they was upgrading.
Del
Right.
Taco. And she gets on me and she tells my daughter, but it was her idea because she never was high maintenance at all. So she's like, we just go to Del Taco, go to SeaWorld, and watch the fireworks and the shows and stuff. So that's how we connected. But we knew each other for a long time as friends before we even started dating.
Now, let me just ask a question: Was your wife the one on the track team that would have her ponytail so when she ran, it would just fly in the wind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause she has
Now,
long
I'll
hair.
tell you one thing at that time, the Morris girls track team, the Lincoln girls track team, our girls at that time on all the track teams will have new hairstyles every track
Oh
meet.
yeah.
Yes, yes,
Oh
they were
yeah.
fashioned in. Yes, sir.
And the funny thing, I grew up in Skyline, so I knew the Morris girls. I didn't go to Morris because I told my mom I didn't have the fashion sense to be able to handle the pressure.
So you went where?
I went to Madison because I could handle the
You went to
pressure
the sad house.
of the financial commitment
Oh
of
yeah,
clothing.
of clothing. Yes.
Yes, you had to have your clothing just right.
Right. Right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me
So
tell
so
yeah.
you guys came back and you started giving to your community, and so you got married at some point,
Yes.
and you have two children,
Two.
two girls.
CC and Gigi, almost like BB and CC Winans.
Okay,
Right.
all right. Now, when did you knew that your daughter had the athletic bug?
So I'm coaching track, and it's funny because kids pick up anything you say around them.
Yes, they
Like
do.
people think that they don't know, but they do. And I was a long jump coach, and I was coaching my jumpers, Cherie Key and Travis Johnson, who went on to do great things. And Charlize would go in the other pit in the dirt, and I would, you know, she that was my friend. Like me and Cece are so tight, and I would have her in the pit next to me, and with her sandbox. So she had it. It was like a little sandbox to her.
Right.
So
Right.
we had two different long jump pits, and she would be in the sandbox playing in the sand and doing her things. Now I'm talking to the kids and telling them how to jump and all these things. I don't know if she's listening. I'm just thinking she's just over there. So we're at home one day and it's a rug. So it's a little rug about maybe 3 feet long, and it's in the hall. So she takes it and she pulls it into the living room. So she makes it like a play sand pit.
Right.
I hear these tiny little feet running down the hallway, and she jumps over the rug and lands on the ground. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. Right.
It was the most amazing thing to me. So I told her to do it again, and I videotaped it on my phone. So it's on my phone. She's like 2 years old. And I'm like, this is crazy. Look at her technique. Look at how she's like everything I'm teaching the kids, she's doing.
She was listening.
So I go to a track meet and I see Coach Dean.
Yep.
And I always was a fan of Coach Dean as far as like how he prepared his kids. And he might not always have the best athletes at this time, but the way that he will prepare his kids, the way he will run his practices, what he wanted out of his kids as far as the academic piece and all those things. I was just always a fan of it. And so I showed him at this time. Now,
Yep.
Coach Dean, and you probably know Coach Dean says this every year, he this might be the time where he get burnt out.
Right.
And he's like, I might throw in a towel this year. Dean said this when Cece was like 2 years old. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I said, no, Dean, you got to coach her. And he's seen it. He said that she has a genetic gene. I remember he said is everybody has this gene. Some people have this gene. She has this gene. She's gonna be great. I'm telling you. And this is when Cece was 2. And I'm like, yeah, you never know. I just wanted her to run for Coach Dean because I knew what he was gonna pull out of her as far as academics and pushing her. And he said it then. All the way later, everything, all the stars aligned because I said it. If Lana doesn't coach, she's gonna run for. We're not gonna coach against our own kid.
Right.
But Dean was the only one that was gonna coach CC if Lana wasn't coaching, and all the stars aligned. She walked away state champion, and Coach Dean and Coach Patricio did so much with her this year. It was a team effort because everybody put a little piece into her performance this year. She was faster. She was more technical sound. So it's crazy how God works. It's crazy.
It is crazy. We were at Mount Carmel High School, and I think it was CIF finals. And I never go on the visitor side. No, I never go on. Was that the home side or visitor side? That's the home side.
Yep.
We always sit on the visitor side every year in the same spot. And I just happened to walk around because I was with Southwestern coaches, Coach Tony Campbell, trying to help him recruit kids. I'm a high school coach, but I was trying to find the different schools with kids that were seniors that I could help him get. So I stopped and I saw Coach James because I always talk to him in Atlanta. We've always had good relationships, even when we compete against each other when he was at Morris and she was at Morris. And he showed me that. I was like, my goodness, she going to be good. He said, if Lana don't coach, when she get in high school, she coming to you. And I was like, yeah, okay, I hear you. That was when she was like 2 or 3. Zoom in, this is what, 12, 13, 14 years later.
Yeah. So I have a question. Does she run with listening to music or no?
She does sometimes. Cece is a very because she's in ballet and
Yeah.
she does performing arts, so she does a lot of things. So she's one day she's listening to Kendrick Lamar, and the next day she's listening to Blah or whoever. She's very open. Like her range is crazy.
So I was telling Robert, because my daughter graduated from SCPA also. I was telling Robert, I said, Rob, said we need to put together her music mix. And I said, I was telling him, I said, man, you know what? I need to have the team write her own theme song. so when she come out, she'll be working out to her own music.
Right.
So tell her if she ever want to get in the studio and record her own track for herself, let me know.
Will do. And I'll tell you what. You know what she does, but one of Coach Dean's rules is you can't practice with headphones and stuff. So I do know that she follows rules to the T.
Yes, she does.
So she probably listens to music to practice into the venue, but once she's there, I don't think they can walk around with it. So kids don't do that anymore.
I'll let her warm up. I'll let them warm up with them on before we start practicing stuff.
Yeah.
And at San Diego State, they'll be able to warm up. She'll be able to warm up with them because college is a little different, and they warm up at different times depending on what events they do. So she'll be able to wear it at San Diego State as she warms up and does drills.
Okay. So let me just put on the record. Tell your wife, you, and your daughter, and the baby girl, Gigi, this is their station.
Okay.
We will if we know, we'll promote it. If we know, we'll make sure she got the music, whatever she needs. Because, like I said, I love getting behind young people that have so much respect and so much discipline. And I watched her interviews. Like I said, after the interview here, I literally watched her do interviews on TV. And I'm like, okay, this young lady is going to go far. And no matter how far she goes athletically, her personality and her energy is opening up all these different doors that she's just going to be that person. So I'm excited about her. Now, let me go past her and let me talk to you about you and what your family is doing. Robert, we're excited about
Let's
this.
talk about your run at San Diego High Coach. What people don't know is that he won a state championship in 2018. How many years were you at San Diego High, and what was your journey in getting back to your alma mater because you attended that school for like think 2 years, so it's still considered your alma mater.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I attended San Diego High for 1 year. I had went to Roosevelt in the ninth grade,
Oh, gotcha.
so it was kind of tied together. But I was there, and so I have friends that anything I accomplish, they half of them say I'm a Tiger, half of them say I'm a Caver, and
Right.
I so
Mm-hmm.
I represent both
That's a good.
sides.
That's a good place to be in.
It's a good place to be. But yeah, it was a great journey back. I always wanted to come back. San Diego High and Morris and Lincoln and all the teams down in Southeast, where we came from, they had coaches, and a lot of times you'll have coaches that's there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have opportunities at first, so I had to go to UC, and I did some great things in UC. I got
Mm-hmm.
some great kids today that's doing some great things that I'm so proud of.
Mm-hmm.
It was an opportunity for me to come back home, and I took the opportunity. So that was another thing that, like we said, all the stars aligned. You just never know. And so I came back to San Ohio. When I came back, it was the bottom of the bottom. As far as
Mm-hmm.
we have any games we won, we didn't have any kids. The program was actually going to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
So my staff that I had, I just had the greatest staff to tell you, and they've been with me this whole run. And without them, I couldn't do it. And so many of them will branch off and help other programs. Coach Dean hired Coach Billy this year, and Coach Billy helped out. And that's the thing with our program. So a lot of times when I got all the accolades, it was so many people behind me that turned that program around. So winning the first state title in school history was amazing. Out of that, we had like maybe 21 kids go to college, universities, and yeah, so it was a great time. I love it.
So I'm gonna say this to you because this is the funniest thing in the world. There was a little kid that never played football in his life because his parents wouldn't let him play, and he told his father that he wanted to play in his senior year, and he was a kicker.
Okay.
He's my principal's son, Mr. Hernandez,
Okay.
and he was your main kicker. I always mess up on his name, but his last name was Hernandez, and
Uh-huh.
he's at UCSD now. But
Mhm.
he came on the team and actually made the start lineup
Really?
as your
Your
place.
principal's son was at San
Yeah,
Diego High?
yeah, and his daughter's there
Well,
now.
yeah, and you know what? One thing about my kickers, all of them are great, and I put so much effort into trying to get everybody out to college. And every time we get a kicker, it's always somebody good. And we had kickers at Boise, we had kickers at BSU. I'm saying it wrong. Black historic
Yeah.
colleges. We had kids all over, as far as kicking. And every time I get a kicker, the parents is like, no, 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 and I'm blessed with some great kickers, and every last one of them get college opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He actually got college opportunities, but also they're always, I don't know, the families of kickers, man, it's just, they're strong knit, and I love it because I've never had any of our kickers um, that just wasn't a team player, and they take their job so serious. So he did a great job for us.
And this is the funniest
Wow, I didn't
thing.
know
I told
that.
everybody if I was to play ball all over again, I would be a kicker. I said because you could still win the game, but you
Mhm.
can be clean. You don't have to get hit.
And you get paid a lot too.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm 57 years old, and I remember sitting down with my doctor and trainer, and he said at one point in your life, every injury you ever had is gonna come back to you, and you gonna feel it. And I looked at him. I'm 25. Yeah, whatever. I'm good, man. When I turned now I'm 57, but when I turned 48, the day after my 48th birthday, bruh, every injury I had ever had in life.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get out of bed for 1 hour.
I'm gonna tell you, if I could do it again, I would be a kicker as well. I would watch them in practice, and we're getting hit and stuff like that all the way through college. And I'm like, man, you guys don't have no problems. Your meetings are fast. You get out and you get to do whatever you want to do. And you see kickers, they have longevity. They can be in the NFL forever.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you get to that Super Bowl and it comes down to that kick. That's the worst job to have on
Yep.
earth.
Right, right.
Yep. You'd be like saying, kick me early, kick me early. Don't let me have to make the
Not
decide.
no, not no, not that one.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
now,
so
now, you've helped so many kids over the years, and what you're doing now is an extension of your love for the sport and the young people. Let's talk about the Charles James Education Foundation. What made you want to birth something of this magnitude?
Well, the Charles Education Foundation started with because, like you said, I've helped a lot of kids get to college as far as athletics. So I had a manager on our team. I won't mention her name, but she was on our team, and I had to always have other, you know, players that help out and stuff like that. Well, my manager, she was a four. I think she had like a 4.5 GPA.
Yeah.
And one day we're out there and we're talking to all the kids that got scholarships, but also that's just going to college. And I'm like, what college are you going to? I just get so excited for kids going to the next level. And it doesn't have to necessarily be academics. Some of my kids go to the Navy, some
Right.
of them go to the Air Force, like whatever they go into. I just want them to do something and continue to make it a life, and so many do. And so I asked her one day, I said, so what school are you going to? I know you're going to college. I know you got accepted anywhere you go. So she goes, no, I didn't get in. And the reason why she didn't get in was she couldn't afford it for one. And she was over in the US on I don't really know the
It's like a
term
visa.
with a visa or something like that. So she's been here her whole life. And so when she got over and she's killing it in academics, she's doing everything she want to do, and she said, I'm going to City College. And I understand everybody has a different path. I went to junior college when I first came out. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, but let me ask you why, and she said, well, I can't afford it. I barely can afford junior college. So for her being over where any of my other kids go to, say, City College or Mesa or any JCs that might cost them maybe 15-20 bucks a unit,
Right.
it was costing her, I think, like $400-500 just because she wasn't from me.
yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
like, wow. And so then I had another kid, I won't say his name, I work for the district.
Right.
So
Right.
he was a great football player, but a genius, and he also ran track for Coach Dean. And he couldn't afford some of the things. He didn't get the scholarship, but he got into all these schools. And he said, Coach, I got into these schools, but I can't afford this, I can't afford that. And I'm like, this is so crazy. And I never thought about it because I got so many kids going to school
Right.
for football.
Right.
And that was everybody's focus. Like, oh, I got a kid that's in Princeton right now. I got kids in Arizona. I got kids everywhere. So the celebration is always for those kids that gets out, and they're like, Coach James gonna get you out. But then I had a whole nother side of kids that would get into school but wouldn't have the academic base. So that's how it started. I said I need to do something to help those kids out and not just calling coaches saying I got this other kid. Well, I try to do that, just trying to get kids out education wise and helping to give scholarships at first, but then it's so many rules to it. It's so many things. It's kind of like sometimes these scholarships are made up to not help kids.
Right.
So that's how it started. And so I went out there in my own pocket, my own family, and we started putting stuff together. And then that's where it took off. And we helped some kids out to pay for dorms and helped out kids. Two kids ran track for Coach Dean, was the first recipients of our awards, and they actually used it for their dorms and computers and so on.
Right.
Both kids are about to graduate, doing amazing things right now. And it's just so much of a blessing to see them, soar, in the kids that we're helping out. And then the next year we had other people joining, helping out and things like that. Also, we try to give back to the people that I tell you this, my best coaching, and I know I'm rambling along.
No, this is
I'll
good.
get some points, but
This is good.
my best coaching came on my worst team, I believe. A lot of people, when we won state, they don't look at the times. I had that same team. We went 1-9, 2-8.
Yep.
But I didn't get the accolades until we went 12-0 2 years back to back and state champions. But it was the exact same team. So to get them to that championship point, it was harder coaching. Now, once I got him there, it was like we rolling. The machine is built.
Right.
So sometimes and then I won every accolade for that season, but my best coaching came the first 2 years. So we always have a lot of coaches that put in so much effort, a lot of teachers that put so much effort that get no accolades at all.
At all.
So we try to represent that as well and give back to those people that you might not know of. So Coach Dean won our award last year.
Yes, I did.
The crazy thing is I thought I knew everything about Coach Dean, and so many people know him. But when he gave me his bio and his resume of coaching, it was like, what? Like, why you don't have every award in San Diego? You know, this is some things, and he didn't get that. And on this show, we had it streamed last year, and Paul Rudy put it out there as well, and they were able to see what he's done. Because some people did, because he's just racking up years coaching and helping kids, but you don't really see. Right. And Coach Dean doesn't age. I call him a vampire. He doesn't age.
He always said it.
So a lot of the young coaches. So one day I told Coach Dean, I said, Coach Dean, how many coaches are still, when you first started coaching, are still active? And he was like, man, maybe 2. So he's out coached everybody on every given circuit, as far as every sport almost. He's been here. He didn't see heck football coaches go on someone and didn't get it. So we wanted to give back to coaches like that. Tay Oliver won Teacher of the Year. Yes. This year we got a great one. Brian Wilson from Morris High School won. Sir. And, his resume, when you hear his resume, it's going to be almost of caliber of Coach Dean. These coaches and teachers have put in so much work. So we also wanted to give back to the coaches and the teachers in the community that are doing things that people don't know about. And so that was one thing that we wanted to do. So we want to help out kids that are just people just think they have it together because they have 5.0s or whatever kids can do, but they need help just like everybody else. And then we wanted to give back, and my sponsors, give back to our coaches and teachers. Yeah. But to me, none of them wanted. Coach Dean didn't know about the gifts and all that, and Coach Brown as well. But we wanted to say we see you and stay motivated.
And he also honored with me Coach Patricio Flats, my assistant coach, the hurdles. He is one of the best hurdle coaches in the country. We can't take away from it. His work speaks for itself. And had he not honored us, Coach Patricio would have never gotten any accolades besides me mentioning his name in interviews with Sonia Redon, who went to Cal Berkeley, a hurdler. Charlize James, who's going to San Diego State. Ariana Dean, my niece, who went to Alabama A&M. And the list goes on and on. In San Diego's culture of coaching, it's a bunch of old guys that's been together for a long time, and they kind of recycle each other being coach of the year. They don't go by what you've done taking a kid from ground zero, because many coaches like me don't get youth track stars, or he may not get Pop Warner football stars, but we coach them up and we put the work and time in, and they end up being kids that can go to college. San Diego coaches don't look at that. They look at who's winning, but they get kids who's already handpicked at some of the private schools.
Well, Robert O'Dean, that's the one good thing about how growing up in our community, we as African Americans have always taken what they left behind and made it into delicacies.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that I want to encourage everybody is that this is a great foundation to donate into, to support. Yes. These are homegrown folks. These are our people. And I think that when we see organizations and coaches come now, everybody knows him as a coach, but both you and your wife are also special education teachers.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so you guys gotta understand the psyche of all this. He coaching. They're coaches, but they're also special education. Now, you got to be special.
You got to be special
to be in special education. Because again, it takes a certain level of patience. It takes a certain level of understanding, but also their paperwork is much more extensive because they're dealing with IEPs.
Yes.
Every other teacher, and I want to say this, they're teachers. I celebrate you all because I'm an educator too. But for the special ed teachers, they don't have to just worry about stalls. every one of their children has an individual learning
Learning
plan,
plan, yes.
educational plan,
Mm-hmm.
and every year they have to meet on it, write on it, see if they're meeting their needs, and it's a legal document.
Yes.
And even with San Diego Unified, they haven't done well with fulfilling all of the needs
Right.
of our special
Right.
education, but yet and still they are making those moves. And when you get teachers like that, because a lot of times we don't see us
Right.
as special education teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So to see, I'm gonna start calling them the pretty couple. The pretty, I'm calling them see the pretty couple in there working with young people is really amazing. And so, Coach, I want to say that we want to be supportive of your foundation in any way that you need us. If you need us to come and help live stream, whatever you need, you got the full gamut of Mandate Records, God Radio, and Mandate Project Impact, all behind your foundation because you're homegrown, we're homegrown, and we're going to support you.
And he coached one of your workers. He coached Miyu as
Yeah.
a long jumper last year.
Amen.
Miyu
Amen.
Miyu does work here at the station with the radio side and the record company side.
Is that right? Me, you won one of our scholarships.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And you know, the craziest thing is that she's going into her fourth year and she'll graduate mid-year. She almost graduated this year in 3 years,
Mhm.
but she's graduated in going to graduate in about 3.5 years. She's just completing her internship with a senator.
Yeah.
But
What?
yeah, she is phenomenal. And this is how small San Diego is. Her father was one of my chief executive chefs for one of our restaurants.
Okay.
And so it's just been this
Wow.
consistent how we get together and how
Yeah.
we do certain things. And so let everybody know that this is your station. You know, tune in and tell CC and Gigi.
And Coach Lana.
I'm gonna like this. We need to get Gigi on. Gigi
She
and
don't
Coach
talk much.
Lana
Gigi don't
is the
talk
only
much.
ones that ain't been on. We got to get both of
They
them
they
on.
don't talk much. Both of
It,
Yeah,
them.
they both of those two. CC is a clone of me,
Yep.
and Gigi is a clone of Lana.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Now let's talk about your event because your foundation is actually having its annual event. Is that tomorrow?
No, so we moved it back to after graduation.
Okay.
We like we got I'm teaching classes, got
Mhm.
grades, and
Right.
I met with our team for our foundation
Mhm.
and Paul Rudy, and we said, instead of pushing it, we really wanted to get it all the way together and really honor our kids
Right.
and our coach of the year.
Mhm.
So we don't want to just throw it together. So it's going to be around the 17th of, so after graduation is on the 14th.
14.
So the
Mhm.
following week, that will be on
That Friday.
and letting everybody know who won this year's awards.
Now, is this an event, a ticketed event where people could buy tickets? Or what? Tell us a little bit about it and how can they donate to your foundation?
Okay, so it was going to be an event where it's tickets, and we were going to have it at the marina. The thing about it, when COVID hit, it kind of pushed things back to where we couldn't do things, and then we had to stream. So this is going to be the last year that we stream it. Next year we will have a banquet.
Mhm.
We have a unique situation far as when donators give out money for our foundation. It's just not a check we get and we do whatever we want with it. You actually get to meet the kids that you're helping, and we have the award in your honor to whoever. So we have some like DJ2, which is Demetri Johnson, who graduated from Bishop High School in San Diego and raised in Southeast. He is one of the directors of Sonic 1 and 2, and he has a whole bunch of other movies and things like that. Miyu wanted to get into animation and movies and things like that. So she won the DJ2 award, which he said after her graduation, they want to give her an internship in Hollywood.
Wow.
He actually got a chance to meet Miyu, and the award was in DJ2. It was called the DJ2 scholarship.
Mhm.
So we are able to do those things where it's just a little bit more unique, where you get to meet the kids and you know where your money is going and what they want to be, and you build a relationship and you go up with them. So we had Daniel, who ran for Coach Dean, won one of our awards,
Daniel Thomas.
and the scholarship that he got was from a family in New Orleans that gives back every year. They're one of our biggest supporters, and they got to meet him all the way through, and they have conversations sometimes, and you never know if it's things that they need, they might just go out and just do.
Wow.
So that's what makes our scholarships a little bit more unique, and I love that about it.
Okay, so we just gonna be straight up. So, what does the scholarship look like? Is it 1,000, 500? People's like saying, "I want to do a scholarship." Well, what is the scholarship ranges?
Well, the ranges is from 500 and so on.
Okay.
If you give a $500 scholarship, that is an actual scholarship that goes to a student. Then we have other things like fundraisers where a lot of our friends and families, they might not be able to donate so much, and we have different things like raffles and things like that to where we do a collective thing of a lot of people donating $5 here and 10. So it's no amount is too small. It all adds up, and we scholarship another kid. So this year I think we raised um on the fundraiser, we raised somewhere around $500 from the fundraiser, which was great. That is actual going to be a collective unit from everybody that's going to scholarship a kid this year. So no amount is too small, but our corporate and sponsors like that, we have packages, and it ranges from $500 all the way up to 10,000. So
All right, make sure we get a package so we can make sure we get the word out for you.
for sure, I appreciate that.
All right, Robert Earl, any final?
No, I just thank you for the ride with Miss Charlize James. She will be going to San Diego State University, which I will still be there as a part because I'm part of that program as well. And I'm just excited what you're doing. This gentleman is a physical education. I mean, he's a special ed teacher. Um, Doing great things in San Diego High. His wife Lana is doing things at Moore's. She'll be coming back to help assist in meets. She won't be there every day because Gigi's doing things now.
Yeah.
So now they got Cece on and off. Now they can focus on Gigi doing her thing. So and your mother, Miss Beverly James, is a wonderful blessing and asset to everything that's going on. She's like the glue that keeps all of us together. So we're appreciative to your whole family. Such a nice, wonderful family. Uncles, cousins, they've all been a part of San Diego High's program in some kind of way.
And one of the things I love about it, and shout out to both you and your wife, is that you have raised a very classy, elegant
yes.
young lady, and that is an example that we want our young ladies to see. As talented as she is, she's one of the most humblest young people I've seen in a very long time.
I appreciate that so much. And when I say it truly takes a village, it really truly takes a village. And one thing, I'm old school, and Coach Dean can see my CC or GG out, and if they're doing the wrong thing, and he says, "Hey, you better stop that." I'm not one of those parents. Don't talk to my kid.
Right.
Like, no, it takes a village. And so there's times where I might get calls from old players and like, I see CC at the mall. We're gonna make sure nobody talk.
Right,
That's
right,
it. That's it.
right.
She has hundreds and hundreds of big brothers. She has hundreds and hundreds of adults that just want to see her succeed in
Yes.
life, and they watch her and they do things for her and make sure she's on the right path. So it truly takes a village, and I'm just so happy and blessed that people want to get behind her and see her do great things and from the start. So it's not just mom and dad; it's a lot of people involved.
Amen.
And you businesses can be a blessing because now college students can get sponsorships and different things. Let's talk about that real quick. How can young people now that's going to college still get sponsored from colleges and it's legal now?
Well, now it's the NIL, which is the likeness, thing, and I'm a fan of it. And,
Me too.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I was a college athlete, and being on video games and your jersey being sold in
Yep.
school, you're not making $1.
Not fair.
When Reggie Bush went from USC to the Saints, it was a story I remember back in the day. It was like that jersey went platinum. He didn't see not one dime.
That's a
And the
shame.
jersey, if you take the lowest amount of jersey dollar for that jersey, the cheapest one I think was around $40. So even if that jersey sold 1 million jerseys, which it got up there, you still had the $400, $500 Mitchell and Ness jersey that was being sold. So now these kids are able to capitalize on that.
Their likeness.
their likeness because it's over $1 billion industry. Universities, colleges, the national championship it holds just as many seats as the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I encourage businesses locally in every city and every state to reach out to some of those kids because they can promote. They can. I don't know why a lot of them don't do it. They can promote. These kids have Instagrams. These kids have Twitters and
Social
all these
media.
things, and they're walking billboards.
Yep.
And you can just think of this. I know now you got me excited.
Yeah.
Just think of if you had a clothing line or anything, but you had a restaurant or anything like that.
Let's use the example of God Radio because my mind is like, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's do it. So you have God Radio, and you have LeBron James before he's the king.
I don't want LeBron. I want CeCe. Let's start right there.
Okay, so you have CeCe, and before CeCe is hopefully, knock on wood, she's a big Olympic star. And she's a promoter of your company, your radio station, and that ranges from anything. It could be sponsorships and clothing. It could be sponsorships and monetize or whatever. There's all these things that can be done, but you have an athlete that is followed, and she's promoting God Radio all the way through. Those are the things that people don't know. Like these kids, I have a kid named Novi. Okay, Novi he's just a great kid, always upbeat, played basketball for Morris. Novi right now has over 5 million followers.
Jeez.
They flew Novi out to, and he just changes. He's a rapper, he's an actor, he's all these things. They flew him out to New York like last week. Novi made like maybe 100, 200. I don't want to put a stuff. He made a lot of money. And Novi, when he tweets something, he tweeted CeCe something she did. I think the first time she won CIF. It reached within an hour, maybe like 20,000 people. And so these kids now can reach more people than a commercial could back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sometimes I look at businesses and I'm like, man, if I had a business, I would be running to San Diego State. I will be running to USD. I'll be running.
So as a business, because I'm real serious. I'm taking care of
And
business.
coaches can get it too.
But my question is, how do you start the process? As a business, because you already know where I'm focused at. How do you start the process? Do you have to go to the coaches? Do you go to the families? How do you start the process?
Well, what they're doing now, some businesses are going straight to the kids' DMs and they're talking to these kids because the rule is right now, and they're going to tweak it a little here, but right now it's the Wild Wild West. So they're going to the kids. The kids can promote and they can do anything. It's a likeness, image thing that they can do. They can't use the university's name,
right?
But they can use the university colors,
right?
So I'll say this. I'm going to send it to Coach Dean so you can take a look at it.
Okay.
One of my friends, his daughter signed to Nike. She's the first college kid to sign to Nike. Crazy deal. He just sent me a commercial with Spike Lee and her yesterday. And it's when you see this commercial, I mean, it's the greats in there. Michael Jordan, Spike Lee, LeBron, like it's so amazing. And this she's in college, and Nike said that's what we want right there. And her story is unreal. And so people are just reaching out to these kids. Now she can't promote the school that she's at because that's against the rules, but she can promote anything about her. So if businesses want to get these students, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter. You can say, hey, I have this clothing line. Hey, I have this radio station. Hey, I have this pizza parlor or whatever. If you come to my pizza parlor and take a picture, every time you're eating pizza, you get free pizza. If you come to our radio station and promote our radio station or walk around with the t-shirt outside of your university, or when you're just going to random classes, we will do these things. So it's it's
I'll wear pizza parlor. I'll wear pizza parlor too. I'll wear pizza parlor shirt.
I was like, I'm sold, Coach. Let's set the meeting. I got something. I got
okay.
something. You know, tell Lana and CC if they want, we got her.
Okay, we can definitely set up.
He's teaching me how to.
Yeah.
He's teaching me how to.
You want sponsorship too?
I've been telling you wants to sponsor.
Okay, then let's go
Dude,
do it.
I sing. I'm a coach. I do all that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing more than other coaches.
You get a sponsorship. You get a sponsorship. We all gonna get
Let's
some
do it.
sponsorship.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Anybody watching? I like clothes. Large. I'll wear it.
All right, Coach. We're gonna have to have you come back and just continue. Let's keep this effort.
Yes.
And I would love to do a segment where there's a teaching, you know, where we actually literally teach the different athletes or the parents how to navigate this season, because it's a different season now. And I think that is very important that we continue to educate. So this is your station.
Hey,
You know, you got everything here. You got your black box. You got what's those things called? You got your the little hovercrafts we got. We got the drones. We got whatever you need. You know,
I appreciate that so much. Anything you guys ever need from me, you just let me know. You guys have been so great to my family. And
His
CC
cousin was on here.
off the board, and so I appreciate it so much. And also, with you saying that got my bell ringing as well. I would like to do. You know, people ask, how did I promote CC to get her out there and stuff like that. I would love to show parents how to, because I get answers all the time like, hey, how did you get CC out there? How did you call these coaches, and how you did these, and how do you? Not only that, I get people asking me about what high school to go to and what did I look for. And we went to the story how I found Coach Dean. I didn't look for the school that's winning all these championships. I looked for the best coach that was going to help my daughter be the best that she can be. And that's what parents need to do. And so I would love to give back and telling parents, hey, you got to go to the best place for you and your kid. And showing them the way as far as the marketing and all that. Cece's going to do great. She's in great hands right now with Coach Sheila Burrell.
Yes.
They got things set up for her that's out of this world. And I'm
you
so
surrounded with the saints. I see you. I see you.
Yes.
All them praying folks.
Yeah, Sheila Burrell, she's a woman of God, and she runs an integral program.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue to do this. Coach, seriously, I'm going to get on Robert. Let's make this happen for both CC and for the teaching. Let's make it happen. I'm excited. You know, I get excited when I see great things.
Yes, yes.
And so we're literally well over our time. But Coach, thank you so much for coming in. Your date again is the 17th, which is Friday. Is it Friday night, right before Juneteenth?
That's the 9th. That's the day we're shooting for. It'll be on Good Morning San Diego on KUSI with Paul Rudy.
All right, y'all. This is none other than Coach
Charles
James,
yes.
and his foundation, the Charles James Foundation. Let's continue to support one another in San Diego. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a very, very blessed day. And again, stay tuned to GOD Radio 1.com.